All right, what's up, everybody? Stuart Anderson here. Grateful to be together for our weekly broadcast. This is our weekly live stream program where we connect with our membership, our resource partners, our live events, humanitarian trips, Smiles for Life, everything that's happening in the Crown Council community. Grateful to be together. Today, we have a really special program where we are interviewing Adrian Leffler from My Social Practice, a very timely topic that actually came out on the email network. And so it's really fun to be able to have him as an expert on AI agents, AI responding as a receptionist and answering calls for your practice. So he's going to go through that, especially three main things that he sees happening with AI agents moving forward. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. We have had a lot of great stuff happening with Smiles for Life, and I wanted to highlight that. So if you're logged into crowncouncil.com, you can go to my directory. And as a Crown Council Premium member, you can view here, Premium Member Hub. And our Smiles for Life results are posted each week. And you can take a look at some of our top offices and the incredible donations that are happening. $339,000 have been donated in the first month of Smiles for Life. So incredible. Last week's, some of our top offices, this is just a week's worth of donations. So those 5 practices last week. And then you can see our top offices here. So grateful for our partner Ultradent, who make it possible for us by donating all of the whitening supplies. If anybody wants to connect with Ultradent or their Ultradent rep about whitening or any of the products that they provide, we encourage you highly. They're an incredible company, and we are forever grateful for their partnership in making Smiles for Life whitening a success. So thank you for your donations. Thank you for making Smiles for Life what it is. Over $51 million raised for children's charities over the last 29 years. We're grateful to highlight some of those who are our top offices this week. A few other things. We had a really fun weekly skill of the week that was posted. Hopefully, you got to watch this. Maybe this phrase is happening in your practice when you say that your out of pocket is going to be something. So the phrase out of pocket has become commonplace when it comes to talking about money and patients' costs. So in this skill of the week, we learn a better phrase, something better that you can say to a patient than your out-of-pocket cost. So yeah, what's in your pockets? Get it out. Get it out of your vocabulary. One more thing that we wanted to highlight when you go to your directory, I want to talk for just a minute about the opportunity to be a qualified member. This is all of the knowledge of Crown Council over the last 30 years coming together during into what we call our qualified member program, what it means to be a qualified member, what our top offices and Crown Council people are doing. There is a plan over here on the left that you will work through as a practice, as a doctor, as a team member, the things that the best practices are doing all across the country. And this is our qualified program that gets honored at our annual event. So you'll learn about some of the steps. There are 8 steps that need to be taken care of as a practice, and then those steps you can report on and share what you're doing to become a qualified practice. Just for for example, our qualified practices have a very detailed plan on how they work with their lab. This is a personal relationship, and we walk you through some of the things that you can do to make that lab one of your most important relationships. So there's some action items, some videos you can watch on how to become a qualified member and what steps those have to take place. So labs, communication with a financial advisor, having a doing good plan, all of those things are part of being a qualified member. And every Crown Council office should be doing that. So go to your directory and click on that qualified membership program tab to look through some of the resources. All right, today this is going to take the bulk of our live stream. I am going to share my screen with a pre-recorded interview with Adrian, and you're going to be able to hear it's about 50 minutes worth of his educational content about AI agents, AI receptionists, and everything involved with his product, Annie, that they are developing, My Social Practice, and their launch, which we heard a lot about at the annual event from him and at his booth. So here's Adrian. I'm going to share my screen, share my sound, and here's our interview, me and Adrian. All right, hey everybody, welcome. I am Stuart Anderson, joined by Adrian Leffler. Adrian, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Nice, dude.
Wednesday.
My social practice, which is fun. I mean, I constantly, whenever we're talking to resource partners, we're constantly emphasizing the word partner, right? Um, our resource partners are not vendors. They're not just a company that sells things to Crown Council members. We have tried to foster a partnership with businesses that actually improve Crown Council offices and not just sell them anything. And I was just saying to Adrian, they are the model resource partners
Oh,
when it comes to interacting with Crown Council members. And I say that in multiple different areas. I mean, over the years, we have had an incredible relationship where you not only are a gigantic part of Smiles
making
for
me
Life.
cry, Stu. You're
You
making me cry.
don't cry. We haven't even started yet. Keep it together.
Okay.
But our partners with Smiles for Life, all the beautiful marketing materials you see with the Smiles for Life whitening campaign, and then just over the years being at all of the annual events, engaged in our website, engaged in Crown Council members' website, and the fun part about what we've watched is kind of the evolution of my social practice, right? And maybe Adrian can talk about that for a minute. But when we first met, this was all about uh, automatic posting to
Yeah,
Facebook
yeah, yeah.
and like the just blog post. And now today specifically, we're going to talk about AI. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, my social practice is the leader in understanding how AI is communicating with practices, whether it's interacting with patients, marketing. We're going to talk about AI marketing, but maybe let's just start there. Can you
Okay.
like what was your first memory of my social practice interacting with us? I mean, it was like how can you guide your social media
Yeah.
on yeah.
Yeah. No. I appreciate that. That's a good starting point. So, we when we started in 2009, um, we were primarily a social media marketing company for dentistry, and we were
Right.
like the only thing out
You
there,
were.
right? So, it was so early that people didn't even know what it was. This is like before Instagram. This is before TikTok. This is like Twitter and Facebook, basically. And so we developed a social media marketing product for the dental industry. And over the years, new technologies are developed and ways in which to, advertise and be found online. And so our social media marketing product flipped on its head 10 times, as we developed new
Hmm.
products and services and tried new things. And so we did the signs, and that was hot for a few years. We did campaign boxes, kind of like the Smiles for Life campaign box. That's great marketing content for Smiles for Life practices. Um, or practices that are involved in Smiles for Life. Um, but then it just became obvious that your marketing, if you're trying to be found and chosen online, right? It's one thing to be found, it's another thing to be chosen as a
Right,
practice,
right,
right? From your community. You have to have a kind of comprehensive marketing campaign that involves all channels. So social media doesn't sit in its own kind of silo of marketing potential, right? It has to be connected to SEO. It has to be connected to website development, reputation management, like getting more Google reviews. Some people consider that to be social media, but others consider it to be an SEO strategy. So over the years, what happened is as we were trying to drive more traffic, create more awareness for a practice, we just simply had to like develop new marketing strategies that kind of fit together, right, with social media.
right.
So we basically provide a suite of digital marketing services for dentists at this point. And AI, which really kind of like, you know, took a turn when ChatGPT was launched in uh,
Right.
late 2022, is definitely a new technology that is going to revolutionize marketing and communication. And so I think this webinar is going to be super helpful for people who are really interested in like what's going to happen? Like how is this interfacing? What are the
Right.
inflection points of AI with my marketing, with my content strategy, um, what's going on out there. There's a lot of
Very
hype
cool.
around AI. It's like
Yeah,
so
it's
much
everywhere.
hype that it's almost like most of this is probably BS, right? And most of it
Right.
is. I'll be honest with you, most of it is. But there are definitely some things that are happening that are on the horizon that if you had your head, if you were neck deep in AI, studying what's going on in the shifts in search strategy and content generation, it's obvious that this is like the telephone. I mean, it's like going to be that big. It's like
Yeah.
electricity.
Right.
The capabilities of communicating with a computer and it understanding human language is going to totally shift the way that we run our dental practices, but it's going to shift everything across the board. All of your communication interaction with everybody. I mean, it's going to shift the way that we are human, and it's going to shift
Yeah.
how humanity it functions. So,
Well, I remember Digital Dental Marketing Conference 2022,
mhm.
your presentation on stage where it was like brand new. You were like, "Hey, AI, show me a picture of a person on in a dental chair," and it would
Yeah,
craft that. It would craft that
yeah.
image, and I remember very specifically sitting there being like,
Well,
this." Well, yeah. I mean, it was the first time anybody had said dentists, dental teams, this is a way you can use this tool.
yeah,
And I feel like you guys have been at the cutting edge of kind of always following that pattern of like, hey, this is how we can use it. This is how it can save
yeah,
time. This is how you can connect with more patients. Adrian sent me some questions today that are going to kind of dive into. I mean, it's broken up into a few different things that we're going to talk about today. But one, I mean, AI when it comes to changing day-to-day operations and just patient interactions,
yeah,
right? Can you talk about that for a minute? Is AI in practice management, connecting with patients, and fundamentally communicating with the people that the practices are working with. Can you
yeah,
explain kind of how that works? I mean, you use the word AI agents. Can you talk about that for a minute? Like, how are
yeah.
these systems being integrated into a practice?
We call it an agent to distinguish it from bot, right?
Okay.
We've all heard of like a chat bot or an
Yeah.
AI bot. And there's since ChatGPT went kind of commercial late 2022, and there's several other companies that have built what are called large language models. Large language model is a is the it's a weird name, but it's basically the name that they've given to these giant mathematical algorithms that are able to create generative content, AI content, large language
Okay.
model. So ChatGPT is what's called a large language model. And there are several of them that have been developed. Google's got one called Gemini now.
Right.
Anthropic has one called Claude. Elon Musk launched one called Grok. Facebook's got one. Originally it was called Llama, but I think they changed the name now. But it's the one that you can use in messages in Facebook that you can create imagery and stuff. So there's several other companies working on these large language models. And basically to answer your question about communication and all that kind of stuff, but basically what happens is these have been built on what we know about how the brain works. Okay, so our brains, kind of fleshy machines, right?
Hmm.
They are predictive. They are predictive machines. Okay, so if I say peanut butter and you think
Mm. Jelly. Yeah.
jelly, right? If I say Jack and Jill
Right. Went up the hill.
and up the hill, okay, so your brain understands language in a way where it predicts. It's a predictive model. That's the way our brains work. Okay.
Okay.
This is why and this is totally evolutionary, if you're living in a freaking savanna plain in Africa and something moves in the bushes, you immediately start thinking it's a tiger, it's going to chew your face off, right? But your
Right.
brain does that because it protects you, right? So that's, I don't know, I'm not an evolutionary biologist, but that's the best analogy of predictive behavior I could think of. So anyway, so what they've done is they basically created these large language models are an algorithm that understands language to the point where it can predict. So if I go into ChatGPT and I write Jack and Jill went dot dot it'll finish the sentence just like
Right.
you finish the sentence.
Huh.
You go into Google search and you put Jack and Jill went dot dot dot, it just gives you a bunch of content related to the nursery rhyme. So it's a fundamental shift in the way that we access information online. Okay.
Okay.
So what that means is that when you take an AI model and you start kind of playing with it, you go, okay, well, what can we do with this? It can actually understand a human being and can predict their language. Then you can have it actually communicate. It's not just like Google search where it's just accessing data in a database based on keywords. It knows what you're saying, or it understands, it seems like it understands what you're saying, right? So you can have a
Right.
conversation with it.
Right.
So once you've got that, what you have is you have a functional way in which a human being can communicate with a computer, and that computer can take action on that information, right?
Right.
And the more sophisticated that computer becomes in understanding the language, you can do all sorts of crazy cool stuff with it.
Mm.
So, to give you an example, so a few years ago, this is like back in 2020 or 2021, we launched, so we do, all these different types of marketing strategies, and we're trying to get people, consumers, patients to find the practice's website and call the office. Okay. That's what we're hired to do.
Right.
So we drive all this traffic to a website. Okay. And about 45% of the population are crazy people like my kids, millennials and Gen Z. Now, what do millennials and Gen Z not want to ever have to do?
Wait.
Wait. One, two, they don't want to make a freaking phone call.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they don't have
No, they don't want to wait. They
talk
want,
to someone.
they don't want to have to talk to anybody.
Right. They want it now. Talk to me now. Yeah.
Give me my answer right now. I don't want to wait, and I don't want to
Yeah.
have to talk to anybody.
Right.
Like, I don't know what the hell we've raised, but trying to get my to try to get my fourth child to make a phone call to get a job is like
No. No.
impossible. I, we screwed up
No,
as a
you didn't. Come
species. We totally messed up. Anyway,
on.
so they don't want that, right? So I'm thinking, okay, we got to have web chat on a website,
Right.
right? 85% of the practices in the industry do not even have web chat on their website. So I thought, oh, let's launch a web chat. So we launched this web chat, and it was just a little window that would open up. You could chat in there, and they would ping the office, and somebody at the office would respond. I'm like, this will be great. It'll improve the conversions. When we drive traffic to the website, we'll get more scheduled appointments. So we did that. We put it on a bunch of websites. Every single one of the practices called us back after like 2 months and said, take this freaking thing off of our website. We can't handle all the chats. And I'm like, that's the point.
Mm.
That's the point,
Right.
right?
Right.
So, but the dental teams, especially after COVID and how difficult it is to like even keep an employee, right? They
Right.
don't have the time to answer like an intrusive chat. And chat is super, super intrusive.
Yeah. Well, if you're not answering it right now, I mean, you
What's
have
the
to
point? You
be able to
have to
point.
answer,
Yeah.
you have to answer it right now.
Yeah.
But if you've got somebody standing in the office right in front of you and the phone's ringing, you're not going to answer chat. So
Mm.
they're just like, it's just too much. Just take it off. So we dumped the project. And then like a year or two later, ChatGPT comes out. I'm like, oh, here we go. This is a way that we can solve the chat problem, improve conversions
Mm.
by adding an AI chat. If we could get ChatGPT to be trained, not just to answer basic questions like just chatting with ChatGPT right through the interface, but like if we could train it to be a front office team member and then also train it to understand everything about the practice.
Yeah.
What insurances do they take? What insurances do they not take? Do they have specials? Do they not have specials? Who's in the office? How to find the office? Blah, 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 blah. If you could do all that, then you've got an autonomous agent that can handle chat and there's no
Hmm.
intrusiveness with the team, right? So we built it and it was a lot better than we thought it was going to be. And we did
Mm.
this last year. We built this, we got it done and ready, and we started testing it last spring, about a year ago. So, so to your question of like, well, how is this AI stuff gonna
Mm.
really affect? Well, that's a use case that makes total sense, right?
Right.
You provide all these crazy millennials and Gen Zs who don't want to talk to anybody and don't want to make a phone call, a way to chat
Right.
with the practice and get the answers that they need, and then not put some burden on the practice.
Okay. All right. So this is cool. This leads me into like what I'm thinking here, which is I'm online, right? I'm chatting
Mhm.
and I'm like, this isn't a real person. This isn't a real person. And you kind of, it's not that you get upset. You're just kind of like, a
Mm.
real person would be better. A real person would be better. But in what I've heard from you, uh, the the making this little chat guy, the chat agent,
Guide.
predictive.
Let's
The
call them
guy.
chat guys from now on. Chat
Well,
guys.
some of those names you gave, that was crazy. But like
Uh,
you were just saying that the AI agent can see birthdays, it could see a wedding date, it
oh,
could see
okay.
a
Yeah, yeah,
prom.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so talk to me more about hyper personalization or
Okay.
taking your AI guy into like, oh, we're open 8 to 10 into like, hey, I saw you came in last time at
Yeah, 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 yeah.
3. Yeah, yeah. Can it do
Okay.
that? Talk
So
about
the
that.
way that what happens, so one of my predictions, okay,
Okay.
this whole thing is based on three predictions. One of the predictions is that these agents will be totally fully integrated into patient management systems.
Okay.
The second prediction is that they're going to be hyper personalized. Let me answer both of those questions. So here's what's going
Okay.
to happen. And we're already doing this. So it's not this is not science fiction. It's like this is totally functional. You can do it. It's happening. It's coming. Okay.
Okay.
So once we got our chat agent built, the next step was for it to be able to take off additional tasks from the team. So scheduling an appointment. Okay.
Mm,
In order to schedule an appointment, the agent has to be able to read the patient management system, right?
right.
Or to confirm an appointment, it has to be able to read the patient management system somehow. That software has to be able to speak and see data inside the patient management system where all this information is about a patient. So we built an API, what's called an API integration, which basically allows an AI agent to be able to communicate with the patient management system. Okay, that was the
Okay.
first piece. So we did that. And once you've done that, um, you all of a sudden open up this huge window to or door to, oh my gosh, like what can this agent do? These agents can read so much information instantaneously
Right.
that if you give it access to data, it becomes super, super powerful in the way that it can communicate. So, um, even better than a human being, right? If I call a practice and I ask a question, they have to search to find the information if they don't have
Right.
it on hand,
Right.
right? If
Right.
I ask, hey, when's my appointment? They have to like stop what they're doing, go and
Right.
check, and then reply, right? Well,
Right.
an AI agent can do that instantaneously across as much information as you want to give it.
Right.
So connecting the data, the patient management system, which is where all of our notes are and all the history and everything, to an AI agent and giving it the ability to read that. And by the way, I'll just say in a HIPAA compliant manner, we won't get into HIPAA, but being able to read that in an encrypted way so that there's no HIPAA compliance issues.
Hmm.
Then you give this agent the ability to kind of like pull all that information into the conversation. Okay.
Okay.
So an example would be a basic AI agent would, if a patient called in, and by the way, and I didn't mention that, let me just hold for 1 second.
Okay.
After we got the web chat built, we tied it to a phone. So now you've got an AI agent that can speak. You can
Right.
call it, right?
Right.
So if you call in the evenings or weekends, rather than going to voicemail, an AI agent picks up and you're talking to an agent rather than just chatting with one. So
Right.
you've got this plugged in two different ways, a web chat and a phone assistant. Okay. So
Okay.
I'm talking about more of a phone assistant kind of process here. So let's talk about like picking up the call. So let's say a patient calls in the evening and they have a question, they want to schedule an appointment. Okay. The AI agent can easily do that. It can get all the information from the patient, right? Name, email, phone, birthday, insurance information, and it can schedule the appointment, read the appointment slots that are open, schedule
Right.
the patient into the appointment slot, and you're good to go. We're doing that. We've been doing it for months. Okay.
Right.
Super slick process.
Okay.
But here's where it's going to go. And this is my prediction in the notes sections and in all the data information inside the patient management system, we can know that that patient that's called in is the spouse of another patient, or they have
Mhm.
children that have come in, or we might know that they came in a year ago and they
Right.
wanted and they need to get a crown replaced, right? But they didn't accept the treatment, let's say, okay?
Mhm.
We'll also know when their birthday is or when they got married, right? If we have that information in the patient management system. So now the agent, rather than just getting basic information and scheduling an appointment, can say something like, "Hey, Stu, it's great to hear you again," because it knows it's you because you're calling in on a phone number that's your
Right.
cell
My
phone that's
cell
in the
phone.
patient management system. So we just grab it, okay? "Hey, Stu, it's nice to talk with you again. How can I help you today?" You're like, I think I need to come in and get a cleaning, whatever. You say, "Hey, by the way, I noticed that last time you came in, which was back
Right.
on blah 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 date, we saw you and we recommended that you get a crown replaced, and we haven't scheduled that treatment. Is that something that you want us to take a look at, or some whatever, right? And by the way, I noticed that your what is it when you get married every year? You have an anniversary. That was
Right.
the word that was coming. Like it's early. I don't know. Maybe that's more coffee.
Okay.
Okay. I, re- I I realize your anniversary is coming up in a couple months. We have a teeth whitening special that
Yes.
I would be totally willing to, you know,
Right.
get you on a special. Or we're doing the Smiles for Life campaign.
Right.
You get your teeth whitened. We get that crown done. We can get your teeth whitened for your anniversary, and
Mm.
blah 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 blah. So what? And just extrapolate on that, and all of a sudden now you've got an agent that's not only just taking care of a task, but it becomes like a fully functional front office desk and will do probably more in terms of
Yeah.
sales and conversion that even a human being would do.
Yeah.
And
Very
it's
cool.
consistent,
Very
right?
cool.
It's
Right.
consistent. So when I say hyper personalization, that's what I'm talking about. It's like all of a sudden now you've got an agent that's super, super good, super good, super awesome, whatever. I have
Very
a hard
good.
time with my words this morning, my adjectives. Um, that really makes that conversation something that's personal and whatnot.
Okay.
So I don't know. Does that answer
No,
your
it's great.
question?
No, it does. And the thing I love about my social practice, where you guys are, is that right, we're looking at AI as a strategy, right? So we're looking at AI agent as a way of marketing. So it's like, here's your toolbox. Here is a great logo. Here's your social media. Here's your incredible website that is optimized. Here are all the things that my social practice is saying to you. We need to have some buckets here, like marketing systems in place. Um, Sometimes when I look at AI agents, I'm saying to myself, well, the team member, man, I want the team member talking to these people,
Yeah,
right? I
yeah,
want I want my own personal culture
yeah,
out there. I don't want to
yeah,
I don't want an agent saying these things.
yeah,
But what I'm hearing, what I'm loving is that we can teach this agent to know predictability in a way where it's actually not a bot. I like that differentiation between
yeah,
like, oh, it's a bot that's like that the agent can actually be a part of your incredible marketing system.
yeah.
And talking about that, maybe let's talk about that. Can you talk about how this is shifting like marketing strategies? I mean, how do yeah,
Let me comment on something that you
okay.
said, which is a huge concern as I've talked to dentists. The issue is how do we maintain the relationship and the
Right.
tone of the office when we're integrating AI, which sounds robotic, right? Which
Right.
feels
Right.
robotic, right? So the way to look at this is AI agents are not replacing dental team members. That's not what's happening. Okay.
Okay.
It's always best to have a team member manage the conversation with the patient and retain and build on that relationship. There's no question. Okay. And
Okay.
that's not what I'm suggesting. I'm not suggesting that we're taking an AI agent and we're replacing employees with an AI agent. The reality of dentistry is we missed a third of our freaking phone calls.
Right. Right.
A third. Okay.
Well, and it's crazy
You
when you say
missed, if your company missed a third of your phone calls, what would you do? you'd lose your mind. If my company missed a third of the calls that came in from dental practices,
Right.
like we wouldn't be able to function.
Well, and
So
we have to remember too what you were saying, which is there's a big demographic of people that don't want to
they
call
don't
you.
even want to call.
And so they're on the website and they're like, oh, I can chat.
That, right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to solve, fundamentally solve here is one, how do we just provide a chat system that actually works, okay?
Yeah.
And can behave appropriately and provide a solution that's not intrusive to the practice. And it's not one of those stupid like chat tree things where like you know how when you call Verizon and you get
Oh,
stuck in
yeah.
the freaking chat tree, it's like choose one here, choose two, and you're like you're trying to skip it and just get to the live person.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
AI, that's not AI. Okay.
Okay.
AI is talking to an agent that sounds like a human, like a natural conversation. Okay.
Yeah.
We want to get rid of that. And when you go to across websites and you look at the chat windows that they've got, there are all these stupid tree things. It's like, are you an existing patient or are you not? I'm an existing patient. And then it gives you five options. Do you want to do? No, I don't want to do any of those. I want to do something else. You're right.
Right. Right.
That's gone. That whole technology is going to be completely gone in the next couple of years. Okay.
Right.
So you have a chat agent that provides a communication platform that dental practices aren't even going to do. They're not going to, nobody's going to manage chat in a dental practice, but half the population would like to be able to
Wants
chat.
to.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that doesn't replace an employee. That just provides a new channel of communication for a dental practice. You're just going to get appointments and you're
Okay.
going to provide better customer service. Okay.
Okay.
Second thing is we're missing a third of our phone calls. These are calls that are overflow calls during the day or in the evenings. And right now, almost every dental practice runs that to voicemail. And 80% of the people that go to voicemail do not leave messages.
Hmm.
If you have a new patient calling in the evening and they're just looking for a dental practice, it's 5:15 and you turned your phones off at 5 o'clock and they
Right.
want to schedule an appointment, they're not going to leave a message to schedule an appointment. They're just going to
Right.
call the next practice. That's what happens. So you're providing a solution here where an AI agent picks up where your team isn't able to handle it. You got to send your team home. They can't work 24/7, but now you got an agent that's a phone agent that handles that. Okay. That's what we're solving. Okay.
Right.
Beyond that, you move into the place of concern where how much does an agent take over from a dental practice team member, right?
Right.
And I'm not going to make a prediction on that because I think that we'll see how effective these agents become and how they interface with employees long term. But if we can just solve the web chat and the missed phone calls problem, we're
Right.
talking about at least 150,000, maybe $200,000 a year in revenue. That's what we're like, and that's missed, right?
Right.
So, and then the lifetime value is even bigger. So that's the thing that we're trying to solve. So going back to your concern of like, well, I don't want to use AI because I don't want to ruin the relationship that I have with my patients.
Hmm.
You already are if they're not talking to you. You know what I mean? That's the problem we're solving.
Right. Right.
Okay. All right. So that's my comment on that. But your question was, how is it changing marketing? Okay.
Right.
There's two kind of basic ways that AI is changing marketing. One is content creation. So blog writing. There's only one doctor on this planet that likes to write blogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's shoot, what's his name? He's a member. He's a member of the Crown Council. It's
Chris Heap.
no. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. Oh, he's gonna kill me if he watches this and I can't remember his name. I'll remember his
Where
name. Anyway,
where is he?
he's up in
Is he
like
Cal?
Minnesota, I think, or
Okay.
Larry Stanley. Larry
Larry
Stanley.
Stanley.
Larry
He's a great
Stanley is
writer.
the
Yeah, great
only
writer.
dentist on the planet that wants to write a blog post. Okay.
Hmm. Okay.
But blog posting is like integral to SEO.
Hmm.
Like you can't do SEO without blog posting, and it has to be custom and stuff. So what dental practices do is they're like, I don't have the time or the energy to write a blog post, and I don't want to, and it's stupid, and I'd rather do something else, right? So they hire an
Right.
SEO agency to write all their blog posts. Well, AI can help you write blog posts really fast now. So we cut our time by
Mm.
75%, right? I mean, it's just AI allows you to create a piece of content. So that's blog copywriting of any
Right.
fashion, okay, is super, super quick now with AI. You can create imagery that is you can't tell if it's not a real photograph, okay?
Right.
You've now got just recently Sora, you go to Sora.ai. This is OpenAI's text to video generator. You can
Right.
create videos from text. And I'll even if at the end of this, if you have a little some links that you can
Hmm.
add to the thing, I'll add some, I'll send you some content. You guys can add links and I'll show you some videos and stuff that I've created using Sora. Um, is that possible when you publish it?
Yeah. Oh
That's
yeah.
okay. I'll give you some stuff so people can look and see
Okay.
what you can do. So video, imagery, songs. You can create songs. I've created
Right.
a ton of theme songs for dental practices
Yeah.
that are about their practice, right?
Right.
Rap songs and reggae songs and Taylor Swifty kind of song,
Right.
top 40 stuff. So content creation is a big piece that's you can totally speed up the production of content creation. Okay. The next thing, though, in marketing, and my prediction, the big prediction, and this is almost not a prediction, it's already happening, is a fundamental shift in the way that search works. So when I say search, what I mean by that is when a patient goes to Google and they
Right.
do a search, like who's the best dentist in Salt Lake City? Okay, they search that phrase, or best dentist in SLC, Utah. Search produces the map, there are ads, map, then there's organic listings. And I don't know if you've noticed, but now that the top of the page on Google, there's an AI response.
Yeah.
Have you seen
Yeah. I have.
that? Okay, so that's Google's Gemini large language model. Okay. So the way that large language models are going to be integrated into search is, well, let me tell you why they're doing it. Number one is it's better information. It's a quicker, it's better for the consumer to use the AI response, and they're going to get better and better and better. So it's providing a response to the query that the patient makes that's just better information. Okay.
Right.
But it also does something a little sneaky, which is it's called what's called zero click search. Zero click search is where you go to Google or Bing or Yahoo or wherever, and you do a search and you don't have to click on it. You don't have to go to the website,
I've seen this.
right? So
Yeah.
the AI comes up, you get your answer.
Yeah.
You don't
I've,
you don't click on anything. So what that does for Google is it retains the consumer inside of their platform,
mm.
right? Where they can sell more advertising.
Mm.
So there is a because AI is able to provide such a great result, there's less clicks. I think the last report I looked at is that 60% of the searches do not have a click. So another example of zero search click is the Google Map. You
Mm.
do a search, the Google Map comes up. You don't click to go to the website and read more about the practice. You just check the reviews and make a phone call,
Mm.
right? That's like a zero click search. You're still in the Google universe, so to speak. You're not going
Right.
to the website of the practice. So if Google sneakily provides a search result that retains the eyeball inside of the Google search uh,
Better for them.
framework, it retains them to sell more advertising.
But I mean, I can see where this prediction's smart because I've been doing it. I mean, imagine an AI search where I say, "Hello, I'm a patient looking for replacement of veneers with a Salt Lake City dentist who has the most and highest Google reviews and has been in business as a Google. Please give me the top three predictions of dentists in the Salt Lake City area." Dude, it
It
would
would do that.
happily give me that.
And,
Yes.
and and what you just described, and I did not plant that question in your mind. You just did what's called a voice search. Okay.
Mm.
You're
Okay.
you're just talking to your computer. So you're on your phone and you just hit the voice and you say, give me the blah blah blah, and you just write out, you just speak out the search phrase rather than typing best dentist in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Yeah, yeah,
So what
yeah.
this does, this you led me really well here in my prediction, is that you have to change your SEO strategy for voice search. So
Mhm.
when you've read articles like if we were to go back 5 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before AI was even a thing, right? And you said, "Hey, Adrian, we want you to work with this Crown Council practice, and we want you to help them rank for best dentist in Salt Lake City, Utah." I would
Right.
write an article titled "Best
The
Dentist
best
in Salt
dentist.
Lake City, Utah," or something very close to that, and I would publish it on their website, right,
Okay.
on their blog. Well, because the voice search is changing,
Yeah.
you have to change the way you optimize the blog post. Now I have to optimize it for that paragraph that you just asked, right?
Right.
So it's the shift from typing in a search phrase to a voice search phrase. And
Mm.
so what you're needing to do is the way that copywriting is being done, the way it's shifting in the way in which it optimizes the voice search phrase over or versus a typed in phrase. Okay.
Okay.
So my prediction, right, and this is almost not a prediction, it's already happening, is that SEO fundamentally changes. So if you're looking at hiring an SEO company, they have to understand that the copywriting strategy is fundamentally shifting. And what's I'll add another little prediction to this. A lot of the search that's being done, I mean, Google retains like 90% of the search volume on the planet, or I should say, at least in America and the States. Um, there are other tools. There are AI tools like ChatGPT is being used as a search tool now. So people are like using ChatGPT to search or Perplexity.
Hmm.
Okay, these are AI large language models that are producing search results
Okay.
because it's easier to communicate for a person to communicate with an AI agent than to type and so forth. So
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you've used ChatGPT like that, but if you
I
go,
have.
you ask it questions, it will like the typical question you ask in search, it gives you an AI response, and there are dentists. Like if you ask it, who's the best dentist in Salt Lake City with the most reviews, it'll
Right.
give you a result, right?
Well, and you taught me this. The more I tell it about, so when I talk to the AI agent, and you've taught me this, is I'm like, I'm a 45-year-old male. I live in Salt Lake City with two girls and a wife. It's like I just keep giving it more, and I'm like, please provide me with who you think, or even if we're like looking for restaurants or something to do, I give it more. I'm not just like, hey, give me a restaurant, because
Yeah,
I want to know, I want it to know everything about me.
yeah,
And so it's so easy to just keep talking, to keep
yeah,
telling
yeah,
it,
yeah,
to just keep telling it
yeah,
more.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. The more you give it, in my experience, the more that you give it,
Yeah.
better your result becomes. And this is just a function of the AI agent being able to access more data than a typical search, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so the capability, voice search is going to become more and more the way in which we interact with computers rather than typing. I even think the keyboards might be gone in a few years because you'll
Mm.
just talk to your computer,
Yeah.
right? You'll just see an email and say, "I like you to respond to that email, be polite and firm, whatever, blah, 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 blah," right?
Throw a
And
joke
you
in.
might, you might, well, maybe you still have a keyboard, maybe make a couple edits or whatnot, but it's like when on my phone, I don't type on my phone. I got
Mm.
short, chunky sausage fingers, right? And so I've never done,
Mm.
I've never
I
been good.
love it.
I was double hit the letters, right?
Yeah.
And I just talk to my phone, right? So everything on my phone is a voice search.
Mm.
So you just have to think about, oh, if the phrases are different, then the content that's being generated has to match. So like one of the things that we do, like here's a tip. Here's a
Okay.
easy tip. When we write a blog post, right, and we're going to publish it to a website, we always add an FAQ section at the bottom. This is not something that we always did. In the
Yeah.
FAQ section, the question are the voice search questions that are most likely to be searched to find that article,
Smart.
right? So I write an article about the best dentist in Salt Lake City, Utah, but then in the FAQs, I rephrase the questions,
Right.
the FAQ questions, because Google picks those up related to the search phrase. So they're voice search phrases that are embedded in the article, right? Does that make
So smart.
sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, because
That's a change. That's a
it'd be hard to mix in like, well, what kind of education does this doctor have? Where do you go to school? How long they been in business? But you could put that in
you can
frequently
put
asked
that all in the
questions. Yeah.
FAQs. Yeah,
Huh,
yeah.
I love that.
So
Okay,
those
well,
are my three predictions. You've got
great. Okay.
patient management system integrated with AI agents. It's already happening. You get hyper personalization of these AI agents being able to like access an infinite amount of data, right? And
Yeah.
then pull that into a conversation where they can have a conversation with the patient. And search is fundamentally changing because of AI
Smart.
search phrases or
Okay.
voice search phrases. Okay.
Very good.
There you go, man. That's what I
No,
got.
well, people today are listening, right? I'm thinking about Crown Council. I'm thinking about Smiles for Life. I'm thinking about all these things, and I'm like, I don't even know where to start. So when you are a dental practice listening to this, um, what's the best way to stay on top of technology advancements, and maybe just a few, if you put yourself in the position of a dental practice manager today or a doctor,
Yeah.
how do they start today to leverage some of this AI stuff we've talked about?
Well, I would say so. Well, I'm gonna have to plug some of our services.
Good.
Is that cool?
Oh yeah. That's why you're on.
Okay.
To
All right.
I mean, you guys are the
Here,
best, so
here
teach
comes my
us.
sales pitch.
Okay.
Um, so the easiest gains with integrating or leveraging AI, and in reference to what we've been talking about, I mean, there's a lots of AI tools out there. There's AI tools that handle insurance verification.
Right.
There's AI tools that like
Read
Pearl and
charts.
yeah,
Yeah.
that look at your X-rays and help you give a
Right.
second opinion, that kind of stuff. There's lots of different products that are coming out. If we're talking specifically about marketing, the two greatest gains are to make sure you add an AI web chat to your website and that you have an AI phone agent. If you just do that and you don't even do any marketing, you don't even add any marketing to your budget, you're just going to
Right.
pick up probably, depending on the size of your practice, 5 to 10 new patients a month just by providing a way in which the consumer can, your patient can communicate with you and not be sent the freaking voicemail, right? So, so the product that we have launched is called Annie.
Mm-hmm.
That Annie is our service that's the front office assistant. And this Annie basically can you can train her specifically to your practice. Um, to an unbelievable degree. Like the finesse that you can train Annie is pretty remarkable. Okay. Um, I'll give you an example. We've been working with Steve, okay, Steve Anderson, and we have built so Steve has a very, very specific process in which he trains a front office to answer the phone. It's scripted. It's scripted out perfectly,
Right.
right? It's a great model what he's got built. Well, I can take, and we've already done this, we've taken Steve's front office phone call sales framework, his scripting, and we've built an agent on top of it.
Mm.
So, so if you're a Steve Anderson client, let's say, right, and you want to use his framework, I can train an agent to follow his framework almost to the T. So now you've got an agent that speaks the language and follows the processes of Steve's framework. Now you
Smart.
can do that for any kind of a framework, or you can do it just to a practice that wants to handle calls a specific way. And you can get into really, really great detail about, well, how do I handle the cost objection, or how do I handle the question of what is a crown cost, or I mean, they all have different frameworks of where the agent can like answer the question directly. It can investigate more and lead the conversation. The sales, and I know we don't like to use the word sales in dentistry, but the sales capability of using influence and framing up that conversation is actually, it's unbelievable. Like people get kind of blown away at
Yeah.
how good the AI agents are at just following a framework,
Mhm.
better than employees, unfortunately, right? How hard is it to train your freaking front desk to
Oh,
follow
it's
the
hard.
damn script, right?
Yeah, it's hard.
So we have this product called Annie, which we can train specifically to a practice. And you plug it into web chat, you plug it into a phone system. Okay.
Mhm.
So now you're picking up these missed calls. Nothing's going to voicemail anymore. Nobody's leaving messages. And that's probably the greatest gain, I would say. It's very simple. It's easy to work with. Um, it really doesn't put any burden on your team because, oh, you're going to our site. Yeah, you know what? I've actually got we're rebuilding this page. I think it looks kind of stupid.
Okay.
But
Should I click
I will
away?
give you, Stuart, I will give you a link
Okay.
to 10 phone calls that were recorded with Annie and a patient.
Okay.
I'll drop that in so anybody watching this can listen to the calls. I think you'll be quite blown away. Okay, so
Cool. Yeah.
I'll give you a link to do that.
Okay.
Um, and then there's some other videos that talk about some of the benefits and whatnot of Annie, but that's probably the first place. The second place I think that someone should um, use AI is in this shift from traditional kind of SEO tactics to more of a voice search SEO tactic.
Okay.
And they use Prospecta, Lane's company. Lane is well aware of this stuff. We do all of our SEO optimization with that in mind. So I would say if they are paying for SEO or if they're doing their own SEO, do a little bit of research on voice search optimization, okay? And start shifting the way that they're writing their copy on their website and on their blog. That would be the two inflection points I'd say the greatest gains.
Okay, great. Not salesy. I mean, that's what the fun part is. I really do feel like your authenticity and wanting to help practices just do better is real. And I think you said this earlier in our conversation, but I really think that this is something that when we're looking at the marketing of a practice,
Mhm.
your tagline says, "Be found and chosen
Right.
by more patients." It There really is so much emphasis on be found,
Yeah, right. Exactly.
but that is like not it. I mean, if 35% of the people are finding you and then they're just like peace, like
Yeah.
what? How do I even talk to them?
Yeah.
Um, it really is a cool aspect of be found, but then how are we being chosen?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Well, I appreciate that, man. And it's so great to be on it. You guys are awesome.
Hey, no, we're awesome because of you guys. Thank you.
Wow. No, no, we're awesome because of you. I said it
You,
first.
no, you.
All right,
Okay,
cool. I'll send you some stuff that you can add to kind
okay,
of give some examples of what this is, but I
okay.
really appreciate the opportunity and you
Thank
guys,
you.
okay.
We got to be doing this like every 6 months. It's
Done,
changing. So, okay.
done.
Cool.
We'll do it. Okay,
Thank
man.
you, man.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
take care.
All right. Grateful for Adrian. Thankful for everybody that stuck around. I've got those links from Adrian. I'll share them with this video when we post it to the Crown Council website in the Premium Member Hub. And then also next Tuesday when the email goes out to all of our members for weekly email updates. So Adrian has those links that he's shared with me, and I'll happily share them with you. So gratefully if you joined us live, if you missed some of this or want to show it to your team, this will be posted in the premium member library under live streams. Grateful to have Adrian on and thankful for all those that joined us today. We'll be back next week, and we're looking forward to connecting. Thanks, everybody, and grateful you tuned in today. Have a good one.